All right, guys, so in today's video, I will be taking you through a full deep dive training where I'm meeting with a few of my clients who are trying to have their first $1 million year ever. And I figured there'd be no better way to teach you guys how I consult businesses from $500,000 per year to $1.2 million per year than just showing you straight up their questions to me and my answers to them. And the reason I want to share this content with you is because I believe that there is no better way to learn anything in this world than to emulate the thoughts of those who are ahead of you. So that's why I made this video. That's why I want to share my thoughts with you, exactly how I look at businesses, how I consult them, how I put myself in their shoes so that you guys can learn something and take something and run with it. So without further ado, enjoy the video, stick around, pull out your notepad and enjoy.
I think our issue right now, I was telling Matt about this, we think I don't know if any of you guys have read the Ray Dalio's Principles book. It's phenomenal. And he thinks about business in terms of 5 steps, which is like vision, the goal, like where do you want to go, pain points, root cause of those pain points, coming up with a solution, and then being able to execute on those. And sometimes I feel like I'm decent at the vision and I can find problems, but sometimes in terms of like prioritizing those problems.
I'll share my screen.
Share your screen
real fast.
Yeah. Prioritizing those problems and like prioritizing where the gaps are. Sometimes, I can get lost in my own head. So this is actually our month-to-month kind of conversion rate on what's been going on in the business. So as you can see, we got 170 leads, and I'm pretty proud of me and Matt because these are all like high quality leads. They're not shitty, no offense if anyone's doing this cold call or text message, like very lower quality leads. And our leads to actual unique leads, we had hardly any like duplicates. So they were mostly just new, fresh leads coming into our system, which is just pretty good. And then we had 30% processes on the leads that came through.
That's contact.
We contacted 136, and then we had 41 processes on that. So basically 30% of them we turned into processes. 59% we made offers on, so that's not as good as it probably needs to be. And then from the offers, we got 8 under contract, so 24 offers and 8 under contract, which in January was decent. But the issue that we're running into with these numbers is I'm generating a lot of the deals ourselves. That's like from like kind of like Ray's strategy of building relationships with other agents, other wholesalers. And we're including those numbers in here, and it's making Dylan's conversions look better. And so I don't know if we should take those numbers out and just look at it on like just Dylan's perspective, because he's our only acquisitions guy right now, and just look at his specific numbers. Because like one of those deals that we netted 20K on was literally, for me making a Facebook post asking agents for opportunities. And the other one came from a flip that came from Dylan. So roughly 50% of our business, it seems like, is unfucking predictable. It's like just opportunities that kind of come up, but you can't count on those. And then the other 50% is from what we internally generate, but we're spending a shit ton of money on marketing, and it seems like we aren't getting the 300% return that we should be getting with the amount of money we're spending. But again, it could be too early to tell since we really upped our marketing spend.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. Does anyone else have any thoughts on what they've heard so far? I know you asked a bunch of questions. I think first question that I hear is, should you track your numbers together, separate? How should you look at them?
Yeah.
The quick answer is like you need to be able to see it from like what different lead channels that come in. So like Sell My House Fast, Motivated Leads, LeadZolo, PPC, whatever. And then also from agents, you need to be able to split all that out, which I think you do. And then I would also look at it too from like per person. That's definitely like quick rule of thumb. So you can split it out. So context, because I think this is kind of relevant for your situation, I'll share this, is that's kind of how level up is as well. Is a lot of the business comes from like about 50% of our business comes from me just posting stuff and then people pay us money. Um, and then the other half comes from like everything technically comes from me posting stuff, but half of it comes from like organic and half of it comes from like ads, if that makes sense. So what we're doing is you can't stop doing the things that bring unpredictable income. You have to keep doing them. At
Mhm.
least this is what I've seen. Because if you stop, the unpredictable income is actually a little bit more predictable than you think, and it
Okay.
just continues to come. Um, that's at least what I've seen. So do the things that are required to make sure that revenue doesn't shut off. But
Right.
then the other side of it is you need to break down what is actually happening so you know where you can dive into the process to fix it. And so I would, I think you have the numbers probably already broken out, but I think I would try to remove the things that try to like remove all the things that will skew the data from the data, which I think is what you inherently know that. But
Mhm. I like the per person. I think that's a really good idea in terms of looking at it in terms of Dylan's performance and saying, hey, here's the company's conversions, here's your conversions, right? And so we've got to make sure your conversions go up, and that's going to make the company's conversions go up too. Because if we're generating a lot of inbound opportunities to the brand, a lot of times those are way easier deals to close than folks that have no fucking idea who you are. So those conversions will most likely be higher than when Dylan's at. His goes up, then ours definitely will. The company's conversions will go up as well. So that's a great point. Matt, is that something that's feasible that could be done?
Yeah, that'll be actually very easy to do. Incorporate.
Cool.
But yeah, what's frustrating is, we spent the first call we had with you, Chandler, was to spend $12,000. I think we spent this 26. We spent $2,600 in January for marketing, or $12,600. And then one of these deals um, that we closed actually came from our marketing spend.
Mhm.
And that's what's frustrating.
do you have the numbers just like all marketing spend all versus like
I
no marketing?
definitely like I can select the per marketing strategy,
Uh-huh.
like per marketing channel. I can't separate, marketing dollars like and deals that me and Tristan bring in through
Mm.
our relationships.
Yeah. Okay, so basically
Like
just
that'll
like
have to become I add in.
yeah, if you can just get all the information like by like whenever get all the information of like non-paid leads, non-paid offers, non-paid like basically just like from your paid marketing and get those numbers, then I'll get a much more clear understanding. I think if you scroll back up to the top, um I mean, the first thing I see, and I want everyone else to jump in here because I don't want to steal the show, but what I see is your offer or your unique lead to offers number is like 17%. And if you're having really high quality leads, it should be like a little more, it should probably be closer to like 50%.
What qualifies
Mid,
as a unique lead?
A unique lead to us is basically a lead that's not a duplicate.
Like an
So
sorry, I meant contacted leads, Matt, my bad.
It's a lead that's not in our CRM already.
I gotcha.
Who answers the phone on these new leads?
It's actually our closer, which ideally we don't have a ton of confidence in our leads manager right now to take those calls. So it's our closer that's taking the calls of all of the new really hot leads.
Okay, I would say I'm doing some math. Does anyone else see anything here, like just as they're looking at it?
so Chandler, just to make sure I heard you correctly, from the contacted leads, if they're all hot leads, you're saying 1 out of 2 we should be having offers on.
Yeah, that'd be like the general thumb. Like, okay, basically you're doing, I would like to look at net leads ideally because you're doing, PPL, so you're gonna have a lot of refunds. So, I mean, realistically, if you're at 30 to 35% of like your like your actual leads to an offer, like that would be KPI in my opinion. So I think you could double the amount of offers you're giving out. Um, Another thing too, looking at like you got 8 contracts, like where did those all come from? It's like there's a lot of ambiguity in the data because I don't know how skewed it is.
So
Like
here's
those
one.
8 contracts, how many? Okay, is this them?
Yep.
So one was an auction, motivated leads, need to sell my house fast, referral, SEO, and then a cold call.
So
Okay, so you got
yeah,
so 6 contracts, right?
No, that's 8.
But 6 from like paid sources.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So how many of those will monetize?
Say that again.
how many of those will
Um,
actually like make money on?
Oh, well, it looks like, we'd have to go into our freaking CRM to really know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the metric that you guys should look at too, that'll give you a little more peace of mind because your cost per contract's $2,100. It's not bad. Um, for paid, roughly, right? It could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less. You want to look at how much like projected revenue you're booking. Like Ray is looking at, I want to sign 40K in contracts a week. He feels pretty good about that 40K. I'm sure it's like a conservative number that he has, right? I mean, it looks like Ray just said it maybe it's a little bit not too conservative based on that grimace, but
No, it's a
um
stretch goal.
no, but like I'm saying when you're saying I got 40 last week, that's you mean like you actually did get 40K conservatively projected to
Yes, for
sign.
sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, what I think that will do is if you put down there like, hey, yeah, we only closed 2 deals, so it wasn't an amazing month from close revenue, but revenue that's projected and booked is like, let's just say on 6, you guys do 15K, close 4, that's 60K. 60K on 12 grand, that's going to close in the future is good. Then you just got to get better at managing your cash and your pipeline.
Should the projected revenue be in this closed KPI tracker, or should it just be like just a separate thought, like a consideration when we're looking at all these numbers?
I'll open that one up to everyone, but I know people who do it both ways. I like to look at it next to profit. I like to see what I'm signing because cash converted cycle is just so long.
Mhm. Yeah, that will probably, and that will give you a better look into the future than in the past, because these 2 closed deals don't necessarily say a whole lot about the leads that are coming in.
No, it
Yeah,
says a lot about like you guys have 11 flips. Then now you just need to make like there's like a whole lot to break down on this, but there's like you need to project when your revenue is going to land and like when your cash flow model that you're building, Matt, you need to have a good idea of like when your future revenue is coming in and how much is coming in, because that's going to allow you to like know, hey, can we actually buy this to flip it, or do we need to get rid of this quick?
yeah,
Because if you're looking at things and like let's make the most money possible, that's great. But what happens when you get to a situation where you can't, like you just have to manage cash flow, and so like there's just like it happens a couple times in business as you start to scale, and you have to be able to know with a pretty high certainty of like when's this cash coming in, and then like just assume whatever you think, just knock it down to 75% of whatever. If you think 100K is coming in, it's really gonna be 75.
Right, exactly.
did you hear that, Ray?
No, of course. That's why I don't get like too hyped up about I always tell my team don't get excited about contracts that we get until they close because you know, not everything you lock up is obviously gonna get you paid. Hopefully that's not the case for our deals last week though, because we want to get those closed.
Love it. That's that's all good feedback. And so, lots of things that could be worked on here, Chandler. In terms of prioritization, top priorities would be looking at Dylan's conversions, looking at projected revenue moving forward.
Yeah, like just like okay, just from a simple like let's be aware of like what's happening in the business perspective. Yeah, track your signed revenue and like what you think is conservatively going to close, and like and then have another sheet or another tab that like you tally up like your revenue and when you think it's going to hit. So like if you're looking at, for example, like for Level Up, we have some like reoccurring payments. So like I have a reoccurring model that my one of the team, the VAs like or assistants build out um every week they update it. So it's like we know in X month we have however much reoccurring, at all times. So we know what our base is going to be. So you know like roughly what's going to hit. You can put like a likelihood. You can play around with it, right? But you just want to know when your revenue is going to hit and like how likely is that to actually to hit, basically.
So how much, when it's gonna hit, and the likelihood, and then
Yeah,
compare it to
those are the
actual
things I like to think about, and that'll give you a good idea of like when's your cash coming in, and then so then you can model that against your cash going out, and then what decisions you need to make sure you're cash positive every month or break even or whatever based on cash. So when those
If,
big hits do come through, you'll
let's
collect.
just say if we run into issue where Matt isn't able to figure it out, do you have any like good resources or like just wizards in the Excel sheets that could help build out like a projection on that, or what are your thoughts
Dude, I
there?
literally just have like it's super simple. Just have another tab that says plus right there. And then just like you have January, February, March, April, just do the same thing for the months moving forward and just type in like projected revenue, like projected revenue. Um, and then you can put a note which properties so you have it. And then just like write out that's it really. And then like maybe you could write out what actually closed underneath it so you can get understanding of how you tracked it. Did you do good or bad? Start to look at that over time. That's it.
That makes sense to you?
I know how to, I already know how to.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And
That'd be-
then as far as like things I'm looking at and seeing like, oh, this is interesting. I mean, you see the trends, you said it right away. It's like your process to offer should be higher. Something's going on there. You had 41 processes and 24 offers. Something happened there, whether the processes were underqualified or something wasn't followed on the handoff right, or I don't know what could have gone wrong, but you're 100% almost every month pretty much. And like, so I think that's a place to look right there. But it's like the easiest. That's like
With
the
the
easiest thing to
offers
see.
to appointments or process calls, you're usually making like 90% of offers to every process call you have. Is that correct, Chandler?
We don't technically do it like that. Ours is gonna be, yeah, it's 85% of our appointments that are set are getting offers.
Okay.
But if you're, you know, you're mostly in those months around 95 when you do good, 95 to 100. So I mean, yeah, I mean, I would put your own baseline up there at like 90, 85, 90.
Kind of touch base on what we were asking earlier about what deals we got under contract. 3 of these deals came from relationships that Tristan and I have built up. And then 2 of the workable opportunities that we actually got came from our marketing spend.
You're what?
Marketing spend.
2 out of 8?
2 out of 8 that are actually workable opportunities came from our marketing spend.
Where the rest and all 6 of the other ones came from network?
The ones that are deal canceled, those also came from our marketing spend, but I mean, that's not gonna generate revenue for us.
Oh, gotcha.
And then this one, and this one all came from Tristan or I.
And how much do you think from those workable opportunities you'll make?
This will be 40 or 50, this one will be 12, this one
I
will
meant from
be,
ad spend, sorry.
oh, just the ad spend ones?
Mm-hmm.
Tristan, you know these better than I would.
Sims, probably 8,000. Paragold, that was under contract with another guy, so I don't know.
So that's not a workable opportunity.
It may not be.
So $8,000.
So 3 are canceled, and those were canceled because they were bad deals, locked up too high, or
Title, so 166 Green 772 Road, number 7. He had that under contract with another investor, and that
Mhm.
contract doesn't expire till February 7th. So we
Okay.
said, okay, we'll follow back up. You didn't mention anything about this to begin with when we were asking. 202 East Tennessee Street, that house is caving in on itself. So that was the actual worst case scenario. We could have made it work any other way.
Mhm.
805 Kane, yeah, we'll skip that one because that wasn't marketing. 1608 West 26th Street, that ran into title issues, and the sellers wanted to back out because they didn't even know about the quiet title process, and they said we can go through the quiet title process, get it done, and then they said they'll just do that. instead, which I made them just
So
buy
they're gonna
it.
do their own quiet title process.
Yeah, they were just gonna hire an attorney and do it themselves. Because they were trying to get me to buy it before going through the quiet title. I'm like, well, typically
that.
your contract title gets worked on fixed first and then it gets closed. And like, no, we don't want to do that. So I was trying to get a likelihood from a few attorneys on how likely this is, and it was messy as fuck. It was super messy. To make sure I was
Yeah, I mean that one's not really probably worth your time unless it's a banger deal. But
yeah.
101.
909 Pinecrest. This one's interesting because we could have done this deal ourselves. It was a lead in our CRM, and then another wholesaler got it to us, and then we JV'd the son of a bitch for them. So that kind of is upsetting. And then 101 Roosevelt Road. Matt, you canceled that one. I was away there.
Oh yeah, this very similar to Tennessee Street. You
Sure.
walk the property and it ended up not being a workable opportunity.
Did you try retrades with that?
I mean, we had it locked up at like $10,000.
Oh, and
I
it
mean-
wasn't worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that makes
They had to
sense.
pay us to take that son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, a lot of those just kind of seem like two of them you cancel because they're shitty deals in shitty areas.
Yep.
One of them you cancel because it was just like kind of a unfortunate situation that happens. I would look at the lead channels as they're coming from and try to figure out, is there anything you can do to control this from not happening? Lead Zolo, lead Zolo, lead Zolo. So all from lead Zolo. Got it.
Now we're not just only getting shit from these other. We also got some decent deals from them too.
Yeah.
So it just that's how the dice roll. in
Mhm.
January.
Yeah, I think that if you guys do, I don't think from here we're gonna figure out anything. I think you're gonna have to figure it out in where the process to offer spot sits, and then also just going deeper on what's happening to a lot of those leads that you're talking to, but aren't getting converted to offers. I mean, I guess if technically if you got your process to offer back up, you get back into KPI all around. So I think that's gonna be like your biggest lever for the week.
Increasing our offers.
From yeah, because you have 41 processes and 20
8
offers maybe, 23.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, you're probably right.
So if you got up to 40,
24.
35, you get an extra 10 offers, you get an extra, three contracts. I mean, that would, if you're closing at 40%, you close another, that should put you in a much better spot.
One deal, yeah, at least, yeah. That makes
Maybe
sense.
2 deals. That's like a first thought. Anyone else see anything that they're thinking about? I know Ray, you're juggling both agent direct and
Yeah,
direct
it's a
sell as
lot,
well.
low key, but it is what it is. No, I think we're all right for now. I appreciate it though.
No, I was gonna say, do you have any advice on what they're struggling with?
No, I mean, I think what you said is pretty spot on, and the main reasons I say no, I don't have any advice is because I'm so new to starting the direct to seller thing as well that I would just kind of hate to say something and then it messes something else up. Because I just don't know what obstacles can arise type stuff. So I like I just don't want to give my opinion on something I'm not confident in. That's all it is.
is everybody else's business set up in a similar way as ours, or is everybody kind of in different spots with their business?
For me, I mean, I just do cold call and PPL. I have 2 closers. I've been tracking everything like as one, but based off what Chandler just said, I think would be much better for me to track each closer individually and their conversions. Like for cold call, they just go every other lead. PPL, they go every other lead as well. So easier to track. I do a lot of JVs. Like I have a JV department, where like my dispo guy is incentivized to go find. He has like, a minimum of 15K in profit a month just off JV deals. We should maybe do 3 to 5 JV contracts a month that we actually sell. But I don't use that revenue because obviously that's not for my marketing spend. I just keep everything specific to marketing spend. You know, if a friend reaches out to me, like I had a friend reach out to me, moved it, I'll make 30K as a JV partner. I'm not counting that in my revenue for like cost of contract, cost of deal sold, or average profit per month. That's all just going to be based off, you know, what I'm getting from my marketing spend and what my closers are locking up.
On your dispo side, are you using Investor Lift, or is this all just through your own?
Yeah, I'm a cartel member on Investor Lift, so if y'all ever want help or anything, more than happy to just send stuff out for you guys, no fee or anything.
Well, that would be appreciated. We want to compensate you some way or another. For
Yeah.
sure.
We'll lock it up first before we worry about that.
No, I think that was Chandler. I appreciate your feedback on it. Yeah, we definitely need to really look at the marketing and per sales guy, the acquisitions person, and look at those conversions, and then get those offers up. And then, you know, I'm gonna make sure he's following this process as well.
Yeah, I think
Sorry to interrupt, Chandler. When you like, at what point is it too much information when you're providing feedback for, let's say, an acquisitions guy? Because like right now, to me, there's like two objectives. Make sure he's following the process. Also, make sure he's making more offers on the process calls that he has. Is too much for 1 week? Like, would you just rather it be just one objective? Make sure that objective gets handled. Like, how do you think about that?
I think you could probably group it all into one objective and basically be like, look, we need to make sure our goal for this week is to make sure the process is rock solid. And that goes from the sales process of like, let's make sure we're doing that the right way every time, because that's the proven way that this works, right? We got to make sure that's rock solid before we can get advanced. We got to do the fundamentals every time the right way and perfectly. And then part of that fundamentals is like making sure that when we get a hot opportunity passed off to us, or however you would frame a process call, basically like if you really I'd frame it for our team is like if you're able to have a really hot appointment set on your calendar, like we need to be part of the process. We need to give everyone an offer. So there's no reason like that we should just not be giving people an offer if they say that they're motivated to sell. So we need to make sure those two things are dialed in this week. That's our big objective. So make sure we're doing the fundamentals perfectly.
Perfect. That makes perfect sense.
But I think, yeah, like you said, it's like two things kind of like could be a lot, but if you could group them together, it's more ideal.
Love it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I think it's a fundamental thing. And I think if you get those numbers separated, you guys will get a lot more clarity. And then just if you see it, just start looking at all the leads and like reading the story and seeing what's going on, because that'll give you the most clarity and listen to calls and stuff. Then looking at it and be like, is there a magic pill for this? And most of the time it's just like, I just need to get in there and get my hands dirty. And then you'll kind of like be able to assess the situation.
Love it. I appreciate the feedback, guys.
For sure. I think one of the things you'll want to look at is I think you're getting leads in areas that are tough for you guys to monetize, and I think that's one area that's where I'm getting curious.
Try
Yeah.
Investor Lift.
Yeah, that's a good
What's up,
point.
Devin?
I was just saying, like, try Investor Lift. Like, you can literally give me a zip code and I could just go punch it in, and in 30 seconds, it'll tell me how many buyers I have there with buyer scores and history and all that stuff too. So pre-vetted. Where
That-
are most of y'all's deals?
we have expanded outside of our own little market in Jonesboro to Little Rock, which I know there's a fuck ton of buyers out there. We don't have a lot of relationships built up. And then also Northwest Arkansas, which I know we don't have a lot of buyers out there either. So Investor Lift probably would help us significantly in regards to if we wanted to try to wholesale some of those deals. Because right now, we're only looking at it in terms of novation, and we're only looking at it in terms of like wholesale or like a light rehab. So if we're gonna make any money in those markets right now, it's like a 60-day minimum in terms of cash flow coming back in. How much are you paying for the cartel?
50 grand for the year.
50?
Yeah. I split it though. So I split it with my old boss. Yeah, like I just looked up Little Rock for 5,000 buyers.
Yeah. Interesting. So That could be
Yeah,
something.
some of it almost feels like there could be like a reverse ball. Most people need to go and have higher and better exit strategies, but I almost feel like you guys need quicker, more simple exit strategies, especially in some of these smaller markets. Like you can churn them a lot faster. Another thing I'd look into if I was you guys is and go to Tyler Vincent's call tomorrow and talk to him about this. There's these guys in Little Rock in these like smaller areas that do what they call slow flips. And these guys are like buying these properties for like 40 grand and then lease optioning them for like 150. And then they're
Jeez.
just like buying it from a 5-year private money loan and then like basically paying down the property in 5 years and having it cash flow free and clear after 5 years. So I think that could be in those markets. I think that could potentially be an option where you're selling to those types of people who are buying as a smart flip or a slow flip. And they'll pay you'll have a huge buyer pool for that too.
Yeah, we just did one in not Austin, Texas, but Austin, Arkansas, which is outside of Little Rock. And our margins, if we get bought out, are almost 3 times as much as if we were trying to do a normal exit strategy on it. So yeah. You said Tyler Vincent on the call tomorrow knows more about it.
Yeah, he does it. He's done a bunch of them, and one of his friends has done tons of them.
Got it. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, if you need these call schedule calendar or whatever, you should have the link to the calendar. If not, just tag Braden and he'll get it to you.
Perfect.
Cool. Was this helpful, gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fuckload of information that we gotta.
These are
Excellent.
recorded, so we can send them. I don't know where we're uploading them, but we don't need to upload them to the entire Kajabi. But if you guys want like a recording, just like message me, and I think it's on my Zoom. Not really sure where it's at. I'll have to find it.
How do I yeah, I don't see Tyler's call on the calendar. Do I have Braden? Is Braden on the Zoom call, or how do I get a hold of Braden?
Yeah, I'll send you guys a calendar link in your Discord chat.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. I'll get Maria to send everyone in a shared folder. All right, sweet gents. I will see you guys next week. We have the group chat. If you have any problems between now and next week for hitting your goal, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see Torrens 100 push-ups or 50 burpees, sorry. Or what is it? 50 burpees, right?
50 burpees straight. Yep.
Pending knee.
Torrin, your call is on Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday morning. So like early morning, like right at noon, maybe for you. I don't know if you're Eastern or
Central.
Central. Okay. So I think or 10 to 11.
11 Eastern.
Sweet. All right, gents. See you guys later.
See you guys.
Thanks, Chandler. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Peace.
you.